Do I take the gold?
Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and this is Elite Dangerous Ironman Challenge Episode 2. Here I am then with my freshly created Commander Pompey II. Is
this guy going to come from me now? He is. Only got the starter lasers, I've got the starter ship and the starter laser. This is my first trip out with this particular character.
At this point I'd already destroyed a couple of Sidewinders, but this was my first real big target.
The question is there another player shooting this, or is it all other NPCs? If it's NPCs, chances are I'll get the bounty. If it's another player, I might potentially lose out. It looks like another player now, just shooting from above. I don't mind the bounty. Did I get it? It's a question. His shields go up at the last second. I did get it. That was a nice bounty. That is a very good start for my guy here on his first outing. Commander Pompey II is my character's name.
Commander Pompey I met an untimely demise in the first episode after only surviving about half hour, but hopefully it's looking like it might go a little bit better for Commander Pompey II. So after quite a nice start there in the nav beacon, it was time to head off to Ironman 2 and have a look at the resource extraction site. Hopefully there's a bunch of new blood there. Hopefully a whole new bunch of NPC pirates will have spawned. Alas, that was not to be. The extraction site here at Ironman 2 turned out to be pretty much empty. It had all been farmed out by other players. So I very quickly decided to head over to an extraction site at Ironman 3. After around 20 minutes in Ironman, a eagle finally come under my scope, and I totally planned on annihilating him, but there was competition here, other players hunting the eagle too. Would I get the bounty? Was the question on my mind. And of course it was taken by the other players, to be expected. But really, it was time to find somewhere a little bit more profitable. First job then was to hand in any combat vouchers I had already obtained, as well as to get any upgrades. A fuel scoop was particularly in mind due to the fact I knew I'd have to travel a number of systems in order to find somewhere to hunt. But first, why not check the bulletin board? Who knows what would be available? Maybe something worthwhile. There were a couple of assassination missions, but the mercenary work seemed far more realistic. Now repairs are something that I'm forbidden from doing, so I didn't do that, and the bounty vouchers actually needed to be handed in at a different station, so Kingsmill Settlement was to be my next destination. I only wanted the cheapest possible fuel scoop. All that was needed was enough to get me from system to system. And it was at this point that I realised I couldn't actually hand in the bounty vouchers I'd gained so far. The asp had been killed in Potriti, and it was there that I'd need to head back to in order to hand in the vouchers. But for now I was quite content to take the risk of keeping the vouchers on board my ship. The question was that really going to be a mistake? The money, after all, could come in very handy to upgrade my puny shield. Finding a system to hunt in was proven to be quite time consuming, but in the end I settled on a system that seemed to have a resource extraction site with a nearby station. These are often very good because you can simply travel back and forth between the two locations, handing in the vouchers as you go. Naturally though, the trip there wasn't entirely uneventful and I did get interdicted. The question was, what type of ship was interdicting me? I've never found the Sidewinder a particularly good ship to escape in, especially with its default power plant and distributor. But I needn't have worried. It was a Sidewinder day thief, and he was going to wish he hadn't stopped me. The thing was though, this guy was keeping particularly close quarters, and I guess my mind wasn't fully on the game, as it was only a Sidewinder, and ultimately it wasn't any problem, but it did take me a fair while to kill the guy. 2 minutes later I was still shooting at him, whilst inanely chatting away in the live stream.
Part of the problem here is that I'm using my HOTUS again, and I've actually got it sat on the desk, and I'm used to having the stick positioned to the left and right of me. I've actually got to modify my... Oh, did he jump? Ah dear. I've actually got to modify my game chair so that I can have the sticks back to the left and right of me again. It's a little bit awkward.
Excuses, excuses, Ant. Just pay attention next time. Continuing on to find the targets from my mercenary work, I stopped off for the next available signal source. But this wasn't the target I was looking for. Yet, it did seem it might potentially be a worthy target nonetheless. A wanted asp with an anaconda bearing down on it. Potentially a good payout here, so I decided to stick around. The theory, at least, was that this asp would be as easy to take out as the one back at the nav beacon.
There we go. I'm going to go and join in, I think. At least we've got something a little bit interesting going on here. Maybe I'll get... Oh no, depends on how much this asp shoots at me. Of course, I've got a lot of assistance here from the anaconda. It wouldn't be bad, would it, to have a little bit of extra cash? Probably should have fitted a chaff launcher before coming out this way. Come on, Mr. Asp, you can shoot the other guys. Mr. Remy. I'm getting a little bit too close, perhaps. Where have you gone? Are you still going to play it like that, are you? You mean it, don't you? And I don't want to clip the anaconda more than I actually have to.
It was turning out to be another protracted firefight, but I endeavoured to continue. I really wanted the asp's bounty.
Come on, Remy, you've got to aim a little bit better than that. Oh, flipping hell. Didn't expect the missile there. That was unexpected. Well, all the more reason to destroy this asp, so get me outside, out away from this sticky position of having such a poor status on my Sidewinder here. As long as he don't jump. He's going to jump, isn't he? Please let me get him, let me get him, let me get him. Come on. I think we got him. Oh, good. That was a little bit too close.
So I was now flying in quite an extensively damaged Sidewinder, but with this bunch of bounties plus my first lot from the original asp, I now had enough to at least buy myself an Eagle or a very well kitted out and upgraded Sidewinder. So I wanted to go and hand in these vouchers. Maybe there were some upgrades I could buy right now. Fortunately, Flint Station wasn't too far away.
Actually, I'm on the large landing pad here with my little tiny ship.
I should have checked for station services before I arrived here, but regardless, I needed this station so that I could hand the vouchers in.
Right, I've got to be careful not to hit that repair button, because obviously I'm not allowed to repair. Contact local security. And there we go. A nice chunk of cash. But unfortunately no shipyard here.
Vouchers handed in, it was time to move on and look for a shipyard where I could potentially change my Sidewinder for an Eagle. After all, I had 100,000 credits sitting there, and Commander Pompey seemed to be doing rather well. I didn't want to risk him sitting in a Sidewinder with just 50% hull for too much longer. But I wasn't opposed to trying finding the mission targets en route.
Check out a few more signal sources before I do head off. At least Commander Pompey has got a little bit further on in life then. Or Commander Pompey the Second, should I say, has gotten a little bit further in life than Commander Pompey the First ever did. He was deleted very early on. I'd actually feel it quite a lot more deleting this guy though. What have we got? Some cargo. Gold. Do I take the gold? Be silly not to, wouldn't it? No, we don't want silent running, we want my cargo hatch. We get the gold and... oh no, crack it. What the hell? Who's shooting at me? Ah, dear. Well, that was a good trap, wasn't it? I didn't even take the gold. Well, there I was saying Commander Pompey the Second has lived a lot longer. He made 100,000 credits and never got to spend it, the poor guy. So we will be back with Commander Pompey the Third, I guess.
And indeed we will. What an unfortunate end for Commander Pompey II, but the rules mean that he now has to be deleted, and that is indeed what I had to do before creating Commander Pompey III. And I've got to admit, this was a bit disappointing because I honestly thought that this guy was going to make it a fair way into the challenge before meeting any real problems. But I've been out exploring in the depths of space for a very long time, and this was the first time I'd ever seen a trap like this one. Some of the viewers in the live stream were aware of what was going to happen, but they kept quiet and let me walk into it. And there we go, nearly 100,000 credits. Not too bad by any means, but this represented about 2 hours of gameplay or so. So we were a fair way in, and I honestly thought I was on the path to getting a new ship at the very least. Though, fortunately, at this particular stage of the game, it's not too hard to go and delete it. I know I'm really going to feel it later on when I'm in the millions and with a well kitted out ship, but that is the nature of the challenge I've set myself, so that is the way it's going to have to be. And this was the end then of Commander Pompey II, as I delete him forever. So, here begins the life of Commander Pompey III, and hopefully things will go a little bit better for him. Of course, we will get to see all of that in the next episode. In the previous episode, I talked about showing the stat screens of my commander between cuts so that you knew I weren't cheating, but in the end I decided it'd be far easier just to live stream the entire experience. And that video is available for anyone who wants to see it. There is a link below. It's around about 2 hours of footage, and essentially that has all been edited down to make this episode. And I suspect that is the way I will do it from this point forward. It certainly helps to keep things a little bit straight and keeps a perpetual record for those that might be inclined to see it. So here he is then, the third iteration of Commander Pompey, and we will see what he gets up to in the next episode. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time. This has been Obsidian Ant, signing off.